Good afternoon, makers. Welcome back to another installment of Virtual Maker Wednesday. I hope everybody is still doing well, finding ways to keep your mind active, stay entertained, stay engaged, stay curious, um, and keep having fun. Keep finding new ways to have fun in your space that you're creating for yourself. I am trying to, switch some things up today. I chose a new spot in the library to film my video. I'm usually in the front facing Grand Avenue, but today I'm in the back facing Gertie's Run, in the backyard of the MCL. Still have a lot of light shining, which is, not so bad. I like sunny days. I feel like it always happens during the filming time of these videos, though. But today it might make it difficult if I can't see my face because our project is making a cardboard self-portrait. It's going to be a pretty fun little activity, and it's very simple as far as materials go. We only need cardboard, something to draw with, something to cut with. So it could be scissors, or if you're old enough and feel responsible enough, it's okay with your parents. If you use an X-Acto knife for this, that would work well too. And then a glue stick or some sort of adhesive of preference. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, like, why are we doing this during Storytelling Month? Well, for one, we want to put out the idea, much like we did last week with the songwriting activity, that storytelling takes many different forms. For one, all of us might have different sort of mediums that we like to work in, whether it be something like a visual art, like a drawing or music, or just simply writing stories, like if you write fiction or write nonfiction stories or poems, even these are all kind of forms of storytelling, right? Or there's, of course, just like oral storytelling, like literally just telling somebody a story, right? These are all different ways that we can tell stories. And it's interesting because, for one, what we're going to do today, creating a self-portrait, is still going through a process of making decisions to tell the story about yourself, right? And this is something that, being in a library space, we see all kinds of books, and we talk a lot as a staff about how fun children's books can be, just because they're really good at telling stories using images. That's also similar for graphic novels or for comic books, if you're into that sort of thing. So that's kind of where we're coming at today from, is just thinking about like how you can use a visual art form to tell a story. So this is going to be very fun. This is something that you can, take as far as you want, do with as much as you want or as little as you want. But the way that I'm going to approach it and the way I encourage you to just start thinking about it is to pick kind of three things about yourself that you feel like kind of help tell the story of you. And then make those details for your self-portrait, and then you can go from there. So for me, I think I'm going to pick that I wear glasses because I wear glasses. I think I'm going to pick that I have this nose ring, which is kind of hard to see, but I have a little septum piercing here. And then that I have curly hair, which I just got cut by Miss Nora. So, if you guys see her around, you can, applaud her wonderful skills in the realm of hair cutting. But I have curly hair. So, and I think it will be fun to make curly hair for this activity. So that's another way to think about it too, is like, what are some details about yourself that maybe share a little bit more information about what makes you you and what makes you special as opposed to other characters? But also like what would be fun to make using these materials. And cardboard's really interesting, because it's very durable and flexible in a way, but even within it, it has lots of different textures if you choose to open it up or kind of scratch some stuff off. So we'll just see what we can do. All right, I'm gonna start off. I have this kind of almost like three-paneled cardboard, as you can see here. So I'm gonna use one to cut out like the shape of a face, and then I'll use my other two to kind of cut out whatever else we're gonna make. So we'll start there. As always, we have some material kits outside of the Millville Community Library right now. And so, if you are so inclined to, you can go pick one of those up if you live around the neighborhood. But, this is another fun one where all these materials are probably readily available in some format in your house, right? Okay, got a nice, decent face shape. What do you think? Good enough. I think that'll do. So now I wanted to, not me with this leftover cardboard, I wanted to just kind of show you guys some of the stuff I was talking about. So right off the bat, for example, I said that I wanted to make some glasses, right? So these seem like they could be some pretty decent ends for some glasses. Maybe I'll cut those off and save those, see what we can do with those in a minute. And because now these almost even kind of look like decent frames for glasses, right? I don't know. We can think about that and think about how we want that to look. But I wanted to kind of point out to you guys that inside of cardboard, we have these interesting like textural sort of like corrugated way that cardboard kind of supports itself is by having these like systems of different like thinner pieces of paper and texture that kind of like balance one another and create like a equal weighted support system. So that can be a fun thing to play around texture wise. And I might check that out because, like I said, I wanted to do some curly hair, right? So maybe we will just go right into this. I think I can cut out other stuff for my glasses. Now, what I'm going to do is kind of like try to cut in between here and open this up to see if we can get into those smaller pieces of paper on the inside. And again, as always, friends, we're being super careful with scissors, you know. Cool. So see what I mean? We got these kind of like, before we saw them like this, and that's what it looks like if you rip it off. So this is another cool way too to like do different textures. I think I like that for curly hair. You know, it's not exactly curly, but it's just kind of wavy and funky. So I think what I'm going to do is actually kind of strip off this top layer of these different pieces and use it for my curly hair. Why not, right? We're doing it. So let's see what that should look like. Might be something I can just peel. Here we go. Nice. Great. Cool. And so I think what I'll do is kind of cut these off, maybe open them up a little bit, kind of, before with it, playing with the textures, see what we can get there, because I might even be able to pull this apart one more layer and see what it looks like when we just have this curly. Yeah. So if now you can see, you can even rip this off so that this ends up just being these kind of literal, just like curls. Kind of looks like the texture of my hair, I'm not gonna lie, guys. So I think it's gonna work out pretty well. So we'll go ahead and we'll peel this off like such. Kind of creating, just digging into this cardboard, kind of taking apart the layers, see what's happening. All right, cool. So now I just have this little like both sides. And I'm gonna use this to cut some curls that I can use for my portrait. So I'll just do that. Little bits here and there. I'll put my scrap over here just so I don't get confused. But again, with a project like this, your scrap might come back into play, so you might as well keep it around. You never know. Nice. Do that. A little bit of this. And some cool, funky curls. Pretty fun to play with here. So I'm keeping these right. There we go. Okay, so this one needed a little bit more peeling, which is fine. We might even have to cut into it. There we go. Cool. Sweet. All right, got that going on. Cut that up. Cool. All right, so that's pretty fun. That's a fun when we got the hair down. And I'll go ahead and so that it has time to dry. I'll just go ahead and start gluing these on. Like I said, I kind of want it to look funky, showing off the kind of springy, spontaneous nature of having curly hair, So I'll go for that. I do some like woo, fun, funky stuff. Just get some of these pieces on. So while I'm thinking about this, it's like, all right, I'm doing my curly hair, got that in the books. Gonna make some glasses. We talked about that. I like that idea. I think we're gonna push that. The nose piercing, the septum ring, seems like might be fun to make. I have some cool ideas. So those three are in the bag, of course. But there's other things like I'm gonna probably need some eyes, right? I'm gonna need a nose, some ears, and this is the kind of territory where you can decide like, are these things I want to draw? Are these things I want to make out of the cardboards? More specifically, like trying to find different ways to play with the material and develop different textures. But it's also a way to develop like dimension and like depth. If you want to, like, if you're making cardboard eyes that have different layers to them, um, 'cause that's a pretty cool territory to get into. I think I might try that myself. But okay, I'm gonna put on like two more pieces of hair here, and I think we'll have a nice little curly hair vibe going on. Um, but yeah, I think that after this, I want to cut some ears, a nose, some eyes. Then I'll go into the glasses and the piercing, and we'll see what's going on. It'll be a pretty cool little thing. And again, it's a fun way, like, whenever let's say if we were writing a story about ourselves, or anyone really, it's really important whenever you're writing a story, if you're introducing, your reader to a new image that they haven't seen before, you need to like be able to give them that image, So this is the way we do that. We figure out what details create that image and like what that image needs to do to create that character. So it's kind of a cool way to think about it. Yeah, cool, funky curly hair. You can see the texture. You can see the spiral of the curls. Kind of cool. Maybe I can make a hat too. You guys probably noticed I'm back into beanie season here. It's getting colder. But we'll see. For the sake of the time in the video, I'll probably just keep moving ahead. All right, so let's see. We're gonna do some ears. The ears I'm gonna cut out one after the other, so I can use one to kind of like shape the other one as well. And that way the size will be somewhat similar. So I just kind of cut out oval shapes, and then I figure we can kind of draw some of like the inner ear pieces, right? Some of you friends might be doing some parts of the body, anatomy type work in school right now. So maybe you know all about the inner ear and how it creates speakers for our brains, and collect sounds. It's pretty neat. So that's a cool thing too. If any of you are, learning about that stuff right now, this might be a great opportunity to try to maybe have a personal connection to what these things look like, right? So now I got my two ears. Oh, shapes aren't exactly right. Maybe a little bit elfy on this one. Maybe I'll try to make that a little bit more round. All right, cool. So I got my ear pieces. I'll glue these. I'm gonna make my little inner ear, like I said. I should do it like that. So, wow, I almost kind of feel like I drew them like elf ears anyways, but that's okay. Maybe I'm just thinking about the holidays already or Lord of the Rings or something. All right, cool. So I'll put those, glue these on. All right, do that like that. That. Cool. So we are like grooving right along here. Now I'm gonna make some eyes and a nose, and I have a kind of a funky idea for the mouth. So we'll see when we get there. But I'll just breeze through these very quickly here. Let's see, the nose. I actually kind of want that to be able to come off of my self-portrait a little bit so that we can make the little nose ring for it, and it'll be fun. So I think what I'm going to try to do is a technique where, cardboard naturally has different folds. Like you can see that it has these lines that it naturally wants to fold around, right? So I'm going to see if I can take advantage of that to create a little structure for my nose here. So let's see what that looks like. So we can do this kind of like a little nose, and then we can bend in our cardboard like this, right? so that we can put glue on one side and then have the nose still stick out. So it'll be kind of like this. All right. See? Kind of got that going on. Now, we said that we wanted to make a nose ring. Or I said that I want to make a nose ring. And I should have probably done that before. I should have thought that before putting my nose on here. What I might do is just take it back off again, reattach it in a second, because I am going to pierce this nose. So I'm going to do a classic kind of fold over, cut one little slot that we can then open up and turn into a hole. Do this. Cool. You gotta be very careful. We don't want to cut too much. Ooh, but since this is a plastic back, we do need to cut a little bit more than that. So we'll kind of try to pull this. See what's going on here. All right, there we go. I'm gonna have to make a little ring for my nose, right? So I'll do that. Come right over here. Mine's kind of shaped like a horseshoe, so I think I'm just gonna try to do the same exact shape. As such, so I'll cut out a little circle here first. It's almost not really so much a circle, but you know, something that a smaller piece that we can cut out to then make our nose ring. Cool. So now we got a little nose ring. Maybe I'll color it just a little bit, just to give it a little bit, you know, a little bit of pizzazz, you know. We'll do that. So we'll go ahead and officially pierce this nose now. Doing a little like whoop, whoop. Cool. So we'll do that. All right, now it's ready to go. So we'll pop that on there. Glue it again, using the same technique. Cool. Awesome. Cool. So here we go, friends. Got a little nose piercing going on, some curly hair. I think I'm just gonna do the glasses here. And, you know, for the sake of time, maybe just draw on some eyes once we got that in. So this is where it starts to get fun too. So like I said, we have these from before. So it'd be interesting to see if we want to maybe try to find a way to attach them that doesn't use the glue. That's always cool with cardboard, kind of like we just did for our nose ring there, right? Because again, this is a very a material that can be worked with in very different ways. So let's see. I think that it'll be easiest to cut out the sort of main part of my frames here. Then we'll see what we want to do with these like stems. I'll just kind of use my face to measure out approximately what I think they should be. We can always whittle them down a little bit. Do this. See what this looks like. Yeah, that should do. So now I'm going to make these into frames. Start by doing little cuts here on the other side. All right. I'll kind of cut in. Cool. Get that later, you know how it goes. All right, but always make sure you're cleaning up your space, friends. That is, definitely something we always stress here in the makerspace, and I'm sure that all of your adults at home would also appreciate that. Cool. All right, now I'm gonna again take advantage of our bending of our cardboard, right, to be able to cut some holes in here for my glasses. So let's do that. All right, cut through here. All right. Cool. All right, we got our one. Boop. Glasses ready to go. I'll cut this. Awesome. All right, we'll cut that. Oh, gotta be careful not cutting our frames too far. Nice. Cool. So we got our glasses. It actually set pretty well on the nose. So I think I'm gonna try to cut a little slit into this and just attach them to my nose. And see how that goes. So that way we don't even have to worry about, I think just with the size of the face, it would be a little clunky to put some stems in there anyway. So let's see how this goes. And this is also fun too, because as you well know, if you wear glasses, you have to take them off sometimes, right? So I don't wear contact lenses anymore, but I know a lot of people do. And a lot of people only need their glasses to read or something like that. So this could be a fun way to kind of make it something that you can play with. All right. Cool. Sweet. Ta-da! Awesome. Now I'm just gonna, from here, I'm just gonna draw on some eyes. I'm gonna make myself looking one way because there's something going on to my right, I guess. That is actually objectively true. The rest of the library is happening over there. But, maybe like draw on some eyebrows. And then for my mouth, this is another kind of thing where you could just draw it on. You could create more layers to it to be able to add the difference between teeth and your lips and all the other part of your tongue, that sort of thing. But I'm thinking I might just cut it off because you'll see what I mean in a second. Because I love talking, as some of you might know or remember, I am just going to go ahead and cut out a section for the mouth. So that way I can almost use this like a Roman mask and be able to just talk sometimes. Which I think would be pretty funny. So just do it like this and like that. Kind of cut it in the shape of a little smile. Awesome. Cool. All right, and then we get our pieces together. We have a super fun little self-portrait, right? So I'm excited to see what everybody comes up with today, friends. As always, find a way to make it creative, find a way to make it fun. If you have any questions, hit me up at the library. I hope you're all doing well. Take care.